For today's recipe, Link will be joined by IQ, Gastro Bob, and backed up as always by Guinea Page and the Animal Crackers.
Today, we're making a GastroBlast favorite, pizza. We'll need freshly grated mozzarella cheese, pizza sauce, thinly sliced pepperoni, finely chopped fresh mushrooms, thinly sliced yellow peppers. These are the toppings I like, but you can totally make it your own by adding pineapple, or olives, or onion, or chili flakes. Spicy. You can vary the toppings, but the one thing pizza has to have, the pizza crust. Here's some dough I got from the store. We're using whole grain. We're gonna shape our dough into a large, flat, round disc, the traditional pizza shape. But make sure you sprinkle some flour onto your counter so the dough doesn't stick. We'll give the rolling pin a light dusting of flour too. It keeps bouncing back. What's happening?
Elasticity, that's what's going on. Wheat flour contains proteins called glutenin and gliadin. When water is added to flour, plus pressure, that comes from kneading, glutenin and gliadin get together to form gluten. It's like the muscle of the flour, and they link up like a springy chain. Gluten is what makes dough so stretchy and elastic. Think of a rubber band.
So what do? If we're making pizza and the dough can't be shaped, do we need the help of Ninja Kneader?
Cease and desist, Link. It would be a crime to knead the dough more, and crime does not pay. Kneading will make the gluten even more elastic. Since you just took the dough out of the fridge, the best thing to do is cover the dough with plastic wrap and let it rest until it comes to room temperature. Culinary crime fighters call this technique letting the dough relax.
Sorry, Ninja Kneader, but we won't be needing your services. Whoa! We're gonna let our dough relax, so the gluten chains aren't tight like rubber bands, but more like chewing gum, where they'll stretch, but they won't bounce back.
From experience, I know the weight of a stakeout. So if you're waiting for glutens and pizza dough to relax, take it from me. You need music.
This dough's been out of the fridge for about 30 minutes. Let's check and see if it's still cold. In fact, it's room temperature. Let's try shaping it again and see if the glutens have relaxed. Check it out, it doesn't bounce back. And even if it does a little, we now know to let the dough rest in between shapings.
Like athletes need to warm up before a big game, so does the oven. It needs to preheat, so turn that oven to 450 degrees and let it get good and hot. A super hot oven will help that pizza dough cook up quickly so it gets crisp on the outside and chewy on the inside.
Thanks for the tip, but my hands are full. Gastro Bob, can you lend a hand?
You got it, Link! Gastro Blast!
You can make your pizza dough any shape you want, from a traditional round to a square, to a rectangle, or even just freeform. You can make it as thick or as thin as you want. It's your pizza. And if you have some parchment paper at home, this will come in pretty handy.
No clue as to parchment paper. Wonder no more. I'm on the case. Parchment paper is not the same as the paper you would write on. Instead, it's a paper meant for baking and cooking. Lining your pans with parchment paper means less of a sticky situation to clean up later.
Now, poke your dough with a fork several times. Brush with some olive oil. You can even push out your dough a little if you decide you want a thinner crust. Now, go easy with the tomato sauce. Like some of my other recipes where I prepared items before, I made the sauce ahead of time. To make tomato sauce, you'll need 4 cups of diced fresh tomatoes, peeled and seeded, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, half a cup of finely chopped onions, 4 basil leaves, Parmesan cheese to serve, 1 teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of fine sea salt, 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Today we're using fresh tomatoes, but you can substitute them with an 800-gram can of tomatoes if fresh ones aren't available. Just make sure the label on your container of tomatoes says no added salt. Place all your diced tomatoes into a blender or food processor. Now we're gonna make a puree. A puree is when you blend together chunks of vegetables or fruits to make a thick liquid. Ready, set, blend! I've got a saucepan heating over medium heat. We'll add our olive oil and then our onions. We'll cook the onions till they're soft. This should take about 5 minutes. We're ready to add our tomato puree and bring our heat up to high so everything can come to a boil. Now, let's cut up our fresh basil into thin slices. Lastly, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of sugar. This will help with the sour tang some tomatoes have. Our sauce looks great. Now, it's time for our pepperoni. Hey, Link! But how are you gonna avoid weepy toppings? Like, when you lift a slice to your mouth and liquid falls off. Like the toppings are crying. How do you avoid a soggy pizza? When you hold up the slice, all the toppings fall off the soggy crust. Like the crust is crying. How are you gonna avoid oily pizza? Like when you lift up a slice and all the oil drips off the cheese? Like the cheese is crying. Weepy toppings, soggy crust, and oily cheese can be avoided by 1, going easy on your toppings, 2, using small enough toppings they don't take a long time to cook, and 3, baking your pizza at a high temperature. I'm gonna be using mozzarella cheese because of its mild taste that will let all the other ingredients shine. Also because of its gooey goodness.
And I like mozzarella for its science. Believe it or not, mozzarella cheese and pizza dough share something in common. Like those proteins or glutens in flour, mozzarella's protein bonds are also stringy and stretchy. And part of the process of making mozzarella cheese includes kneading.
We're gonna bake this for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now it's time to tidy up.
Let's tidy up, let's tidy up, let's tidy up, let's tidy up, let's tidy up. When you're finished and the cooking's done, let's tidy up. Even though you had lots of fun, let's tidy up. Gotta clean up the pots and pans, gotta put them away, you gotta wash your hands. You gotta do your best
believe that doing less could give you more results. The dough started off springy and elastic, but Link tamed those rebending glutens by letting the dough relax. Link then found the key to a successful pizza is to go easy on the toppings. That's right, less sauce, less toppings, and less cheese equals pizza that won't go into a mid-season slump. So, have any of the common pizza predicaments such as the soggy crust or watery toppings afflicted Link's pizza? Let's take a look.
The pizza's cooled for a few minutes, so now it's ready to serve. You should get about 8 to 10 slices out of this large pizza. I like to use my pizza wheel, also known as a pizza cutter. I had a gastro blast making pizza with you today. See you next time. Thanks for your help today, IQ.
No problem, Link. Thanks for the lunch.